Today, I'm going to read Ick and Crud, The Big Crunch. It's by Wiley, Blevins, and illustrated by Jim Hale. Meet the characters: Crud, Ick, Bob, and Miss Puffy. Chapter 1, Follow the Crunch. "Why are we running?" asked Ick. "You'll see," said Crud. They raced through the yard, jumped over the fence, and landed in Mrs. Martin's flower bed, which was still all mud. "Oh, not again," said Crud. "Rats." "Rats?" asked Ick. "Where?" "No, not rats," said Crud, wiping off the mud. "Oh, Crud, Crud, Crud. Why are you yelling my name?" asked Ick. "Did you forget it?" Crud rolled his eyes. "Oh, nuts," he said. "Now you're making me hungry," said Ick. The two stood up and started dripping across the yard. Just then, a crunching noise drifted from the woods. "Did you hear that?" asked Crud. "Hear what?" asked Ick. "That crunching sound," said Crud. He pointed to the woods and then took off. Ick ran double time to keep up with him. "Why are you running?" asked Ick. "That crunching sound is our food. Someone is stealing it." "Hold the doggy door," said Ick. He skidded to a stop. "I thought you were eating all of our food." "Well, and why would you think that?" asked Crud. Ick pointed to Crud's big belly. "Oh, I'm storing up for the winter," said Crud. "But it's only June," said Ick. He stood on his hind legs and waddled like Crud. "If you keep walking like that," said Crud, "your legs are going to freeze that way." "Nuh-uh," said Ick. Then he dropped down to all fours just in case. "Let's keep going," said Crud, "and follow that crunch." The two raced to the edge of Mrs. Martin's yard, over another fence, through another yard, around a shed, and then down a hill and across a small garden. But when they got to the edge of the woods, Ick skidded to a stop. "What's wrong?" asked Crud. "Aren't you coming?" Ick shook his head. "It's dark in the woods, and there's ghosts." "Ghosts?" said Crud. "Ghosts don't live in the woods. They live in basements and attics." "And old dog houses?" said Ick. "Yes," said Crud, "and old dog houses." It gulped. "Come on," said Crud. "If I see a ghost, I'll grit my teeth, shake my tail, and scare it away." "But ghosts eat little dogs," said Ick. "You're safe with me," said Crud. "Are you sure?" asked Ick. "Have I ever let you down, buddy?" Ick shook his head. Then he put one foot inside the woods. "Hoo, hoo, hoot, hoot." "What's that?" asked Ick. "That's just an owl," said Crud. "Come on, you scaredy pup." "I'm not a scaredy pup," said Ick. "I'm just, careful." He took two more steps into the woods. Another hoot. Hoot, hoot. Crud's eyes bugged out. He pointed behind Ick, and off he ran. Ick followed like a flea was chewing on his tail. "Works every time," whispered Crud. Ick and Crud weaved in and out of the trees. Tall trees, skinny trees, fat trees, the trees with no leaves. They ran until they came to a big rock. Turtle rested in the shade beside it. Ick and Crud knocked on his shell. "Hello, Turtle," said Crud. "Nice day for a run in the woods," said Ick. Turtle poked his head out and tried to shrug, which was really hard to do in the shell. "Did you hear a crunch?" asked Crud. Turtle slowly nodded. "Do you know where it is?" asked Ick. Turtle nodded again, then slid back inside his shell. "What should we do now?" asked Ick. "I don't know," said Crud. "Maybe he's calling a friend," said Ick. He leaned over into the turtle's shell. "Hello," said Ick. "That's the wrong end," said Crud. "Oh, oops," said Ick. He walked to the front of the turtle. "Hello," he yelled again. Ick tapped on the turtle shell. "Can you tell us where you heard the sound?" Turtle poked out his head. Then he pointed his nose at a large tree and had a big hole in it. "Aha," said Crud. "Just as I thought. Thanks, Turtle." "Busted." Crud tiptoed to the tree. Ick tiptoed behind him. Or tried to. Plop, plop, plop. Get up. It's not easy walking on your toes, moaned Ick. He brushed off the leaves. We'll have to sneak up on that thief, said Crud. Thief? Asked Ick. Robber, villain, stealer of all that is yummy? Ah, said Ick. And be quiet, said Crud. Got it? Got it, yelled Ick. Shh, said Crud. Oh, shh, you too, said Ick. Stop it. Oh, I said stop what? Asked Ick. Crud put his paw on his nose. He mouthed the words. Can you hear that? Ick nodded. The hairs on his tail stood up and curled. Crud leaned next to the hole in the tree and darted his head inside. A squirrel sat at the bottom, stuffing food in his mouth. The squirrel looked up. Uh-oh, he squeaked. Gotcha, yelled Crud. Yeah, yelled Ick. Busted. Where's our food? The squirrel burped. Excuse me? He squeaked and he covered his mouth. Then he pointed to a small pile. That's all I have left, asked Crud. The squirrel just stared. Then he picked up a nut and he threw it at Crud and dashed out of the tree. Bonk, swoosh. The two watched as the squirrel raced into the woods and ran headfirst into another tree. Splat! Squirrels aren't very smart, not as smart as they look, said Ick. Not as smart as dogs, said Crud. Let's go get our food. And that's where we're going to stop today. Hi, everybody. We are going to finish reading The Big Crunch with Ick and Crud. Oliver's going to join us today. He's feeling a little sad, so hopefully this will cheer him up. Wiggle, squiggle, stuck. Crud stuffed his head inside the hole, and then he lifted up his body. He wiggled and squiggled and turned and churned, but couldn't squeeze through that hole. So he wiggled back, and he squiggled back, and he turned and he churned back, but he couldn't get out. Get me out, yelled Crud. What? Asked Ick. I'm stuck, said Crud. You want a stick? Asked Ick. No, yelled Crud. I'm stuck. Are you stuck? Asked Ick. Crud kicked his legs. Hey, I think you're stuck, buddy, said Ick. Let me help you out. Ick pulled on Crud's tail. Ow, yelled Crud. Well, that won't work, said Ick. So he pulled on Crud's right leg. Nothing moved. And then he pulled on Crud's left leg. Nothing moved. Finally, he poked Crud's butt, but that was just for fun. Ow, yelled Crud again. Said Ick. What can I do? Maybe... And Ick grabbed both of Crud's legs, and he pulled, and he grunted, and he groaned, and he tugged until... Out popped Crud. Thanks, said Crud, landing on top of Ick. Now, go in there and get our food. What? Asked Ick. Well, only you can fit, said Crud. I'm not going in there, said Ick. Ghosts live in trees. Ghosts? Asked Crud. Ghosts only live in basements, attics, and old dog houses. And big trees with holes, said Ick. Go, yelled Crud. Chapter 5, Waddle Home. Crud pushed Ick into the hole in the tree. Ick tipped his head inside. It's dark in there, he cried. Go, said Crud. I think I see a ghost, said Ick. Look closer, said Crud. It's just your pile of food. Ick tipped his head in further into the hole. And as he did, bam, thud. Are you okay, buddy? Asked Crud. Ick rolled over and scooted to the corner. He looked around for the glowing eyes of a ghost. But all he spotted was his pile of food. Hey, Crud, said Ick. Yes, said Crud. I see your food, but how will we get it home? Said Crud. Let me think. So Crud plopped beside a tree and then began thinking, which was hard to do after a long run in the woods, but a little easier to do when you're sitting. A leaf fell beside him, and a bird chirped above him. 2 worms crawled over a log, but nothing popped into Crud's head as he slowly dozed off. Inside, Ick was hard at work doing his own thinking. I got it, he said. Maybe we should eat all the food here. He popped some of the food into his mouth because it was such a good idea. Hey, I hear crunching, said Crud as he woke up. It's really yummy, yelled Ick. He kept crunching. Crud poked his head inside the hole. Well, don't eat it all, he said. Toss some up to me. Okay, said Ick. 1 for you. And up flew a hunk of food. 2 for me, he whispered. 1 for you, Ick said again. 3 for me, he whispered again. 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 6. And so on until all the food was gobbled up. We did it, said Ick. Then he rolled on his back, grabbed his belly, and looked around. The hole in the tree now had nothing in it. Nada, zilch. It's empty, yelled Ick. Empty, empty. Bounced off the walls, and he shot back at him. A ghost, cried Ick. Get me out of here. He lifted his arms and jumped up and down. Pull, Crud, he yelled. I'm too young to get eaten by a ghost. I'm too cute to be eaten by a ghost. Hang on, Ick, he said. Crud grabbed Ick's arms, and he pulled, and he tugged, and he grunted, and he groaned until out popped Ick. And the two rolled away from the tree and landed beside the knocked out squirrel. Oh no, moaned Ick as he got up. Don't worry about that, squirrel, said Crud. He'll be dreaming about nuts for the rest of the day. No, said Ick. I'm not worried about the squirrel. It's my belly. Your belly hurts? Asked Crud. Really hurts, said Ick. Crud pointed to Ick's belly. Then Ick stood and waddled. Okay, said Ick. Now it's big, just like yours. Are you happy? Let's go home, buddy, said Crud. Yes, said Ick, let's go home. And the two waddled through the woods. Tall trees, skinny trees, fat trees, and trees with no leaves. Until they came to their dog houses. New ones with no ghosts. Now you can go to Renaissance Place and take your AR test. Hope you liked it. One second.